All right, today we are cutting right through all the noise around enterprise AI. You know the promise, right? These revolutionary, intelligent systems that are going to transform every single part of a business. But the reality on the ground? Well, let's just say it's a lot more complicated. So let's get started by tackling the single biggest hidden cost of building with AI.
This quote from a developer on Hacker News just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures the hidden challenge of AI. See, it's not just about building some cool model, it's about the crazy amount of complexity it adds to everything. It's so easy to get started, but those long-term costs of maintenance, integration, and all the weird, unexpected behaviors, they pile up fast, and the interest is very high. This technical debt is right at the heart of the gap between all the AI hype and the actual reality.
So, the first myth we have to bust is probably the most common one out there. This idea that AI is some kind of magic black box. You just plug it in and poof, it starts spitting out flawless results. This is the dream that's being sold, right? Stakeholders expect this all-knowing system that can reason perfectly, that understands all your business context instantly, and solves these super complex problems without any messy, difficult integration work. The expectation is for a perfect all-knowing oracle. But the reality is, well, it's a lot more fragile than that. And that brings us to our first big dose of reality. You see, unlike traditional software that crashes with a big, obvious error message, AI systems, they often fail in a much more sneaky way. They fail silently. So, what exactly is a silent failure? It's when your AI system seems to be working just fine. No alarms are going off, nothing's crashing, but its performance is slowly getting worse and worse. The answers it gives become less accurate, maybe less relevant. This can happen because of things like semantic drift, where the meaning of your own internal data subtly changes over time, or embedding mismatches, which is just a fancy way of saying the AI's understanding of a concept isn't accurate anymore. It's the slow, quiet decay of value. And this quote from a developer, man, it just perfectly captures that feeling of frustration. When there's no clear error, you're just left questioning everything. Did I implement this right? Is the model broken? Am I going crazy? It's this quiet uncertainty that makes managing AI in production so fundamentally different and so much harder than traditional software.
And this kind of quiet uncertainty is exactly why so many of these projects never actually leave the lab. Which of course begs the question, how many of these big, ambitious AI pilots actually make it into production and deliver real value? Go on, take a guess.
The number, according to practitioners who are citing MIT reports, is just 5%. Let that sink in. That means a staggering 95% of enterprise AI pilots fail. All that investment, all that hype, for what turns out to be a 1 in 20 chance of success. So what's causing this massive failure rate? Well, it's almost never the AI model itself. The real killers are the organizational hurdles. It's a people problem. Trying to get different departments to agree on goals and actually share their data. It's data quality, because let's be honest, an AI is only as good as the messy, inconsistent data you feed it. It's systems integration. An LLM can't magically know about information that's scattered across dozens of old, disconnected systems. And of course, it's those unrealistic expectations, that demand for magic without the willingness to do the hard, foundational plumbing work. And that same kind of hype is what's behind our second big myth, this promise of a 10x revolution in productivity, where AI is just going to come in and replace entire teams of experts.
The hype promises these massive tenfold gains. But just look at what happens when you compare that to real-world enterprise trials from companies like Google and Microsoft. The numbers are much more grounded. We're seeing productivity increases in the 20 to 30% range. Now look, that's still a fantastic improvement, absolutely. But it's an evolution, not a 10x revolution.
This brings us to a much more accurate way to think about AI's value. It's not about replacing humans, it's about amplifying them. It's a human multiplier. Practitioners have a great term for this. They call it situational force multiplication. The whole goal isn't to get rid of your human experts, it's to give them superpowers. The AI handles all the repetitive boilerplate work, and that frees up your experts to focus on the really hard stuff: complex architecture, strategy, and validation. The things that require true human judgment. And this comparison really gets to the heart of this shift.
AI automates the simple stuff, like writing basic code or summarizing documents, but in doing so, it creates new and often more demanding work. And get this, there's a paradox one developer pointed out. Reviewing AI-generated code is harder than writing code yourself. The job shifts from creation to critical validation, and that requires an even deeper level of expertise. So after all this, you're probably asking yourself, okay, so what's actually working right now? Well, the single biggest, most proven winner in enterprise AI today is document processing. We're seeing systems hit 99.8% accuracy in pulling information from unstructured documents like invoices or contracts. Now, the tech for this isn't exactly new, but what's changed is the economics. It is now cheap and viable to automate this work at scale, turning hours and hours of manual drudgery into mere seconds of processing time.
So how do you avoid all the hype and actually navigate these realities? Well, it all comes down to having a clear, actionable playbook for getting AI right.
This 4-step plan is basically the hard-won wisdom from people who are actually doing this stuff. Step 1. Start with evals. Before you build a single thing, define and measure what success even looks like. Step 2. Fix your data. This is the unsexy but absolutely essential foundation. Step 3. Augment experts. Design for a human in the loop from day one. The goal is to empower them, not replace them. And finally, Step 4. Deploy incrementally. Don't do these big bang rollouts. Pick a small, specific problem, prove the value, and then expand.
And that leaves us with one final question to think about. As you look at the AI initiatives happening in your own world, ask yourself this. Is your strategy built on the seductive promise of hype, or is it grounded in the operational reality of what it truly takes to succeed? Because the answer to that, well, that's going to determine everything.